Yo, what's good? Huh? Welcome back to the podcast, Two Fools in a Mic. I'm your host, Kid Brims, Jersey God of Westchester. Yo, I don't even know, but you already know who I'm here with.
Your boy Lil Caesar. What's up? How y'all feeling?
Y'all good? Y'all good?
Yeah, we good. So, how you feel about the two teams that are in the Super Bowl this upcoming weekend and how they got there?
Well, for me, I think the Rams definitely should have been in it, and the Patriots. It should have been like one of the Monday night games, the Rams and the Chiefs. And you remember that game? It was like what? They combined for like 90 was it 90 points, or it was close to 100, but that was one of the greatest games I ever watched. But I feel like it should be the Rams and the Chiefs. Why? We all know why the Rams shouldn't be in this right now. Off of a blown, the most obvious pass interference call I've ever seen.
Roughing the passer, bro.
Nah, there was pass interference. That was the most.
All that. It was all that.
That was the most obvious call someone should have made ever. Anybody who don't watch football know that was a whole flag. And you got the refs out here on the bird box shit, legally blind. They can't see, not making that call, because if you make that call, the Saints are definitely scoring. That will put them on the 2-yard line. All they had to do was run it in. They were scoring that game. They was winning that game. They was definitely scoring.
Definitely Saints in that Super Bowl.
That was, even though they came back, and they lose an OT, but the Saints definitely should have been in the Super Bowl. I had them win in the Super Bowl like earlier in the season when they got hot too. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised, because Drew Brees was definitely on one this season.
Yeah, Drew Brees.
And the Patriots and the Chiefs, that was a good game as well. I watched both games. And, there's always going to be missed calls in both games, whether you're a Saints fan, Rams fan, Patriots fan, or Chiefs fan. There's always going to be missed calls. But my thing with the Patriots is I felt like even though Tom Brady did throw an interception 2 plays later, Julian Edelman did touch that ball, because you can see him trying to pick up the ball. His thumbs went back. Mm-hmm. Like, when you pick up the ball and your thumbs go back, you definitely touched it. But, ball don't lie, because 2 plays later, Tom Brady threw a pick, and the Chiefs ended up scoring. And then you have what I thought was the biggest bullshit roughing passer call of Tom Brady, where I don't know who they called it on, but it hit his whole chest. Because usually roughing the passer, like, it's usually helmet or like contact, like after you blatantly like throw the ball, like they usually call the roughing the passer. So when they hit his they hit his chest. They hit his chest. They didn't touch his helmet at all. They hit his chest, and they called that.
Yeah, I think the refs didn't have a good angle on that. Right?
The refs didn't have a good angle for both games. They don't know what. I didn't know what they was doing.
The other call, oh my God! Like, they were legally blind. Like
deadass. For the first game, the Saints Rams game, that was blatant.
Yeah. And even Madden got it right.
That's why I saw that. Yeah,
right?
I saw that video.
Oh my God!
And then even the dude who made the call knew it was a pass interference call. And he said, he was like, the refs. The refs didn't call it, so I guess it wasn't a pass interference call. And then he got fined. Why would you fine it? Make the fucking call. You make the call. You change the call.
Send
the Saints in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely.
But then the other thing with the second game, the Patriots and the Chiefs, that Chris Hogan catch wasn't a catch. If that's a catch, then Dez caught that against the Packers. Yeah. They
back to the Cowboys again.
Yeah, exactly. The Dez made that catch. But, other than that, I congratulate both teams. I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots win the Super Bowl. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady is you can sit here, get mad all you want. We know we all not going to root for the Patriots, but it's Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. There's really no debate when it comes to him. Like I said, we all, we want everybody's going to be a Rams fan except for the state of Massachusetts that night.
Definitely.
But how do you feel about the game?
I feel like the Rams shouldn't be in that Super Bowl, obviously, because of that call that the refs blatantly missed, and
The most blatant call
The
ever.
most blatant, but I can't even say that word. But they don't deserve to be in that Super Bowl. Saints definitely deserve. I think it would have been a good matchup. Drew Brees versus Tom Brady. I think
that definitely
that would have been like a
I wanted
a
to
dream
see that
match.
too. Yeah, Tom Brady
And,
versus two great quarterbacks,
obviously, I
two
feel
great
like
teams.
the Saints should be in that Super Bowl, but I'm gonna be rooting for the
the
Rams in
Rams,
the
yeah,
Super Bowl.
big facts, big facts.
And obviously the Chiefs versus Pats game, there was a lot of missed calls, too. But at the end of the day, Tom Brady showed.
Tom Brady is Tom Brady.
Yeah.
We never doubt Tom Brady.
He showed who like he led that game winning drive in OT, and
that was
the rest
the-
is history,
yeah.
Now he's in his ninth Super Bowl.
Yeah,
And-
I saw something that was like he has 9 Super Bowls and like.
Oh, yeah, he
all
got more-
other- there
he
was
got more- he
Super
got more-
Bowls than like other teams.
Yeah, he
combined
got
and all that.
he got more Super Bowl appearances than like a couple teams, and that's crazy, That just shows his greatness, And
That's why Tom Brady is.
and you can't really go against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl unless he faces the Giants, Shout out to the New York Giants.
Big facts. Twice, 16-1.
But
16-1.
and the Pats had Randy Moss in that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
did- they
So I'm
definitely did.
surprised they lost. They had one of the greatest wide receivers, but the Giants showed out and dominated
Twice.
Tom Brady.
Not
you
once,
know?
but twice.
But this Super Bowl is definitely going to be a good one. Hopefully a lot of scoring. 'Cause-
I don't want it to be like the Seahawks Broncos one.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
they
that-
won
yeah, that was
40
a-
to like 3 or something
that
like
was
that.
a blowout.
That was
Blowout
horrible.
win for the Seahawks.
That was a horrible Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
that was a horrible Super. That was the one played in New York where it was like 60 degrees. But yeah, that's a whole different other topic right now.
Big facts.
But
Do you remember watching your first Super Bowl?
yeah, it was actually it's a coincidence. It's actually this Super Bowl, but in 2002 when it was the St. Louis Rams versus the New England Patriots. And it was like the Super Bowl after 9/11. And I remember like during the introductions how they had a big American flag and all the troops out there and the national anthem and everybody in the stadium, the players, the fans, they were very emotional.
Yeah, that was wasn't that Tom Brady? That was
Tom Brady's
his
actually first Super Bowl.
Adam
That's where
Vinatieri.
that's where his
it started.
his
It
Super
started.
Bowl legacy started. And it all this is where Tom Brady could actually finish his career. But he still has
He
a
ain't
lot
retired.
of. I think he still has a lot of playing to do.
He has a lot
He
more
definitely
years
has a lot of playing to do.
Yeah, I remember watching my first Super Bowl in 2000. Now, for y'all know me. I'm a huge Giants fan. Born and raised Giants fan, diehard Giants fan. I don't care, if they suck, they nice. I'm with them like my Knicks. But that's Knicks is a whole different topic. We're not
Don't
gonna get into
don't-
the.
don't get the Knicks involved right now, no.
No. But anyway, remember watching the first Super Bowl in 2000 when they played the Ravens. When they had the Ravens defense with Prime Ray Lewis.
Yeah. Lewis.
Ed
Was
Reed.
Suggs was he there or not?
That I don't
I know Ray
remember if-
Lewis,
Ray Lewis,
Deion,
Deion, but that was when
and Ed
Deion
Reed, yeah.
Sanders was
towards
like
the back of his
end
end.
of his career. Towards the end of
But
his
he's still
career.
nice,
Yeah, and then
Prime
and-
time.
Must be the money. But other than that,
bring it out,
it was Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and then
The Giants had Strahan.
they had Strahan, but they had Kerry Collins, they had Tiki
Who's their?
Barber.
Oh, Kerry Collins was their
Yeah,
quarterback.
at that time it was Kerry
man.
Collins. If I'm not mistaken,
Kerry
it was
Collins.
Kerry Collins. It was Kerry
Who,
Collins.
wait,
And then Tiki-
the Ravens had a scrub quarterback too.
don't-
Yeah, I remember. I forgot his name, but I'm trying to remember now.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it didn't matter because we got smoked like 31-3.
Yeah, because
And
the
I was
Ravens
upset.
defense.
The Ravens defense was crazy. I was upset. Watching that as a Giants fan, like, damn, we ever gonna get here again? And then
They did get there, but
7
a couple,
years
a
later,
couple years later.
I mean, better late than never. But that, I remember
what other
watching
Super Bowl
that.
memories you got?
There was one where the Janet Jackson
Oh yeah.
with Justin Timberlake,
JT Janet Jackson
the
boob
halftime
incident. That was crazy. I
that.
remember
Show. Yo, the people went crazy like the day after.
that was on CBS too. I remember. Yeah,
Was
it was. They got a bunch of heat for showing that boob. It was an unexpected boob, but
And I remember Janet Jackson had to apologize a lot.
and
Because it was-
and Justin Timberlake. It was more her,
so,
yeah.
Janet
But
Jackson, because that was a
people don't even remember the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
that
don't-
was
I don't
played
know.
that
I
year.
don't
They just
remember.
remember the whole
It could've
Janet
been-
Boob.
I think if I'm not mistaken, it was the Panthers and the Patriots.
Patriots. Yeah, that was
I think
2004.
if
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
That was a
mistaken,
good
I
Super
think it
Bowl
was-
too.
I barely remember that Super Bowl because the halftime show. Everyone was talking about the
you're
halftime
right. No, but
show.
yeah, now that I remember, I remember the game was
Yeah,
good too.
I think it was the Patriots and the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
Do
I
you have
remember
another one.
Another Super Bowl memory? Yeah. When let me see. When Jerome Bettis, the bus,
Your bus.
Finally-
El autobus.
El Magic School Bus. Nah, when he won his first and only Super Bowl, you know.
Was that against Seahawks too?
Yeah, it was against Seahawks.
yeah, I
It was in
remember.
it was I think it was Super Bowl 40 in Detroit, Michigan. I think. Yeah, it was. It was in Ford Field. Yeah, it was in Ford
oh, yeah,
Field.
no, yeah.
And I think Jerome Bettis is from Detroit, Michigan. So that was cool that he won. That was his last game, and he won the Super Bowl in his hometown. You know, that's
Yeah,
super
that
dope.
was-
You know, and
Because I think Heinz Ward, that was his.
that was
only one,
that was
too,
Heinz
if I'm not
Ward,
mistaken.
or his first or his last. I don't know. His first or his only. I don't
think
know.
it was his first. and
Because I
only.
remember that the Steelers won it a couple years later
I
too
don't think
against.
he was
against-
on the team then. That was
Against-
against the Cardinals.
Yeah, I remember. That
yeah.
was a good
That was
one,
a good
too.
one. The James Harrison pick at the.
Yeah, like towards the
that
other
was-
side of the field.
That was halftime. Before halftime.
Yeah, before
he scored,
halftime.
yeah.
That game was in Tampa Bay. He caught an
He caught an
interception.
interception in the end zone and then ran it all the way to the pick six.
That was a good Super Bowl because you had the Cardinals who had Kurt Warner
Oh,
and
yeah,
Larry
they were
Fitzgerald
underdogs that year.
and
too.
Anquan Bolden.
Yeah.
And they were like they had a power offense, you
Yeah,
know.
they
And the
were-
Steelers had Troy Polamalu, James Harrison
Oh, yeah, their
on
defense
defense. So
was-
it was basically offense versus defense, which you can't ask for a better Super Bowl. But I remember that one was
Yeah, the Cardinals were.
that was a good,
underdogs
good Super Bowl.
The Cardinals were underdogs too, in that because they were like what 9-7.
yeah, but
during
they
the
they
season.
ran they
But
they did a good
they
playoff
got-
run.
Yeah,
they got hot in the
they got hot
playoffs.
at the right time. And
Definitely.
I wanted them to win because I think they never won a Super Bowl.
No, they
in
had
their-
they
their
till this day.
franchise,
Yeah,
they
no,
still have it.
yeah.
And
So
I
that
know
was the closest
Larry-
probably
yeah.
that they got to the
Because they
Super Bowl.
scored like towards the end, but then Ben Roethlisberger came down, threw it to Santonio Holmes in the corner.
Yeah, he caught it with his tippy toes,
He
right?
tippy-toed, the tip-tap chase in the corner.
Got him.
Those and
Got him. He got it.
snatch gimmies needed.
Give me that.
Thank you, sir. But anyway,
That was a good Super
one-
Bowl, you
nah,
know?
The one before too, I remember. Even when the Giants won the year before, but the game before that, I think they played the they played the Packers. And the
Who?
NFC Championship,
Oh,
the
the
Giants.
NFC Championship game. Oh yeah, it was
They
in
played
Lambeau,
that
right?
was that was at Lambeau Field.
Negative-
That was negative like fucking 50
50
degrees or some
yeah.
shit like that. It was
Woo!
dumb cold.
Bleeding.
It was worse than bleeding. That shit was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But then you had that, and I would remember watching that game over my mom's friend's house. And I remember the Giants. It was in the fourth quarter, and the game was tied, and all they needed was a field goal to win and move on to the Super Bowl. And he missed the field goal. And I remember I was wearing my Michael Strahan the red alternate jerseys that they have. I was wearing that, and my mom's friend was like, "Yo, take that jersey off," because he was also a diehard Giants fan.
Yeah.
And he said that they always lose when they have the red jerseys on.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I had the red jerseys on, so he told me to take it off. I took that shit straight off when he said that. It's like, nah, let me get this off real quick.
Talking about the Giants.
So then they went into overtime. I think because this was before when whoever, even if you scored a field goal or a
Yeah, yeah.
touchdown, whoever scores first, they win. It's not like now that if you score a field goal, then the other team gets a chance, and
Yeah.
if they don't score, then they don't win, like that. And then I remember that, and then seeing the Giants win the Super Bowl in 2007 with the
David Tyree helmet catch.
The helmet catch.
That was crazy.
The first of all, Eli Manning somehow got out of a sack.
Yeah.
He said, "Excuse me, get off me."
He did the shimmy on the defense.
The shimmy on the defense.
he flinged it up
Because I'm
there.
watching it, I'm like, damn, we're down, but we're down
Down in the middle of the
and we're
field.
in the midfield. We're not in field goal range. We need a touchdown to win.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, damn, he's
Then-
about to get sacked. Then all of a sudden, he got out. I'm like, oh, shit. Then he throws. I'm like, where the fuck is this ball going? Then all of a sudden, we see Rodney Harris and David Tyree jump. And then David Tyree jumps, and he caught it on his helmet.
He caught it on his helmet.
On his helmet. And then I think it was either
Then the next play or a couple plays down.
Plays later.
Threw
he
the
throws a
Plaxico-
dive to the
Plaxico Burress, you know.
And the Giants win 20-17.
I don't know the score, but I
think it was
remember.
20 to, yeah, it was 20
I remember.
To 17. I remember that, and I'm in my house like fucking screaming like, "Let's fucking go!"
Yeah.
And that's when the Patriots, I think they went undefeated that whole
Yeah.
season.
They had Randy
And
Moss
they had
on
Randy,
that squad.
they went they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl.
18-1, right? They ended.
16-1.
I don't know. They lost.
No,
The most
no.
important game of the year, they lost. You
They
know.
lost pretty much. Because they could have been up with the Dolphins, the 1972 Dolphins, for having a perfect season. Because they were the only team that go to perfect season and then went to go all the way.
But
to
yeah,
win the Super
that
Bowl.
David Tyree catch.
David Tyree catch. That was
That was
God.
crazy. I remember watching that like you said, how Eli shimmy basically got out that sack. He threw it up to, and I don't know who the fuck he was throwing it up to. And then
Nobody knew.
Nobody
knew.
And then David Tyree caught it with his
on
helmet. He caught it on his helmet. And then a couple plays later, Plax caught the touchdown basically.
Touchdown, a dime.
And then you know,
Eli, and then they
the
won
Giants.
That
I
game.
remember going to school the next day.
Oh
My
my God.
history teacher, he was like talking about that game for like a whole week. He talked about that game for like a whole week.
That was big because you're going up against an undefeated team, Patriots, hot Tom Brady and Randy Moss.
Yep.
Like, come on, that's a cheat code right there. And then for the Giants to somehow, stop. That was Michael. Was that Michael Strahan's last?
Yeah, I think it was. He
Was
only
that-
won
was
one
his
Super
last-
Bowl. Yeah, I think he only
I think
won
that
one
was his
Super
last
Bowl.
year, and they
won it. Yeah, they took it.
because I remember there's a video, and he was telling the defense, or no, he was the offensive line. It was like,
Y'all better
this
get
game,
this.
this game is going to end 20-17. Just believe in yourself. This game is going to end 20-17, and the game ends 20-17. And
Yeah, that was a good Super
that
Bowl.
one, and then when they won in 2011 with and they played the Patriots again when Victor Cruz was on the team.
How did that one end? I don't remember.
remember
They had,
it
I know
was-
it was a good catch. They had a good catch
There
somewhere
was
too.
two. It was Mario Manningham.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
everyone's like, "Oh, Eli got lucky in the 2 Super Bowls." You can say the David Tyree shit.
That was lucky. Yeah, that was lucky.
You can say that, but the pass to Plexico Burress wasn't lucky.
Nah.
And then he had one where he threw it to Mario Manningham on the sideline.
On the sideline, yeah,
And
I remember that.
that was a beautiful.
That was a beautiful
catch.
throw.
And a catch.
And
too.
a catch, yeah. He kept his feet
and he
inbound,
kept his
right?
feet, Yeah.
So, yeah,
and that
yeah,
led
yeah.
to the touchdown.
What they
So
ran it
then-
in? They ran it in, right? With
Yeah.
Brandon Jacobs?
No,
No?
Ahmad Bradshaw.
Oh yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
what
Oh
they-
yeah, now I
because what
remember.
they wanted to do,
Then
they
he went
were-
to celebrate, right? You remember the celebration?
Yeah, because he wanted to go sit down, but he went in. Cause
No,
yeah,
but they remember the celebration? I think did he like
nah,
that
no,
wasn't him?
because what they wanted
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
yeah,
was,
he went to sit
I
in.
think
Yeah, you're right, you're
the
right.
game was tied, and they had the ball like late in the fourth, where they could just run out the clock, kick a field goal, and win.
Yeah.
But he forgot, so he went to go sit down, but he fell back.
Yeah,
back-
yeah,
fell
like he was
back in the
sitting down.
end zone. So I was like, damn, because Tom Brady, he comes down the field.
About to lead him to a game-winning drive.
That's
you know?
a fact.
You know,
That's
but-
what I was scared of. But then the last play, what happened was he threw it to. That was when they had Aaron Hernandez and Gronk.
Oh,
like
yeah,
they
yeah.
that was a scary
They
thing.
was killing.
They was killing. Too soon. Anyway, yeah, they was killing on the field, and I remember the next
That's
day.
scary. That's scary sight right there.
That was back then. Hernandez and Gronk. Oh my God, that was hard to stop.
That's how you want 2 tight ends to be built, like Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. You know?
Yeah. So and then I also remember going to school the next day, and everybody was talking about it. Then they had the parade, and I went to the.
You went to that?
I went to that Super Bowl parade. Yeah, and I found out because you had to call the school. You had to call the school and let them know that you're not going to be in that day.
Yeah.
So I forgot. And the school called my phone.
Yo, I'm not gonna go to school today because
Yeah,
I'm
the
gonna go to
parade. Yeah,
the
the
Giants championship parade. Okay.
So I forgot, and they called me, and it was like, "Oh, is this Brandon?" And my last name. I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Are you at the Giants parade?" Because they knew. And I was like, yeah, I'm here. Because you hear, like, the horns, like, in the background, people screaming. And I was like, yeah. And they come to find out that half the school
Had gone.
called out, they called out
They went to the parade.
and went to the parade. Like, people that wasn't even Giants fans, that don't even watch football,
Yeah.
called out. Like, didn't show up to school just to go to parade. And then I remember coming back because I was on the varsity basketball team.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you have to be in school for at least one period to practice. So we get back before 3 o'clock. And it was me, my boy Brendan, my boy Jackson, and my boy, I think, Andrew was with us.
Yeah.
And we get food, and then you just see us walk in our last period, and we had social studies, and social studies, and we walk in, we open the door, and you see everybody looking at us with all, because we was decked out in Giants shit, with food in our hand. The last period was like half an hour left, and we just sitting down, because the teacher knew.
Yeah.
Because he was a football fan too. And he just looks at us and laughs. He's like, you guys went to the parade, didn't you? He was like, yeah, we did. And then we were just sitting there and we were eating. And then after class ed, he came up to us. He was like, yo, so how was the parade, and all that. So then we do that. Then we go to basketball practice because our basketball practice that day was from 4 to 6. The girls would either practice before us or they would practice after us. But yeah, so we do that, and then we got suspended for a game because we went to the parade instead of going to school.
But I remember another Super Bowl memory that when Devin Hester ran it back against the Colts. Remember that?
That was the first play.
That was the first play of the
thing.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, the kickoff.
And
the
Devin Hester.
kickoff.
Woo!
Prime
Again.
Devin Hester. That was crazy.
That was a scary sight, And
Oh my God.
it was raining too. That was a bad weather game.
Was it raining?
Yeah, it was Miami.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember this. He caught it. It was the first play of the game. He ran it back to the hole, to the casa, to the Baja, to the Baja. And
he was with
that
the,
changed the whole.
excuse me.
That changed the whole game. Unfortunately, the Bears. I wanted the Bears to win that game.
No, yeah, the Colts won.
Colts won, but I'll always remember that play.
Also
He ran
remember-
it back, and I feel bad that the Bears didn't win because they had a good defense. They had a guy like Brian Urlacher. Their quarterback sucked, Rex Grossman. But
Fucking Rex Grossman.
yeah, the Colts definitely. They had one of the goats, Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison,
Oh, that duo was crazy.
Edrin James.
I think
So-
Dallas Clark was on that team too.
Yeah, Dallas Clark. They deserve to win. But I feel bad for guys like Brian Urlacher and Devin Hester. They played good during that Super Bowl, but they lost.
Also remember when Hurricane Katrina hit?
Yeah.
And I think that was the same year that the Saints went to the Super Bowl and they played, or the year after.
They went a couple years later, like in 2009,
I don't-
2008, 2009, I think. Yeah.
Nah, it had to be.
Nah, it was a couple years later, like four years later.
Either way,
Yeah.
that they had something to play for because the stadium got destroyed because of the hurricane. So
Yeah.
they had something to play for, and the second half kickoff is when they
They tried that
they
onside
tried
kick.
and it was successful.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
got it back.
Yeah, I'll never
And
forget
that changed the dynamic of the game.
Yeah.
Because
That from that Super Bowl on, I remember that teams, they changed their strategy. Am I gonna receive the ball first, or what do I want to do?
Yeah.
Because nobody had ever heard of a freaking onside kick
At the second half, too.
after freaking halftime.
Yeah.
Everybody's still shocked from the freaking halftime show. And Sean Payton decided to go with his guts, and it was a successful onside kick. And they won that game. Drew Brees went all out. Who they played against?
They played the Colts.
They
Peyton
played the
Manning.
Colts, yeah.
Because that's when Peyton Manning, he threw that pick to Tracy Porter.
Tracy Porter.
Tracy
yeah.
Porter, he returned it to the Cribbington.
To the
took
Baja.
Took it to the Baja.
But what other Super Bowl memories you got?
The blackout one. Remember when Colin Kaepernick played the Ravens? I think that
Yeah.
was 2011.
2013, I think.
Was it 13?
Something like that.
I'm
yeah.
bad with dates, y'all.
Yeah,
I'm horrible with dates. But that was when the Ravens was smoking.
Yeah.
They was smoking the 49ers. I think, they were smoking them.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, oh, they have no chance. And then the lights go out.
Yeah.
So everyone was like sitting there, like, all right.
Beyonce
so
shut the lights off because of her halftime show.
but yeah, you wildin'. But anyway, yeah. Like it was a blackout, so I was like, okay, are the lights ever gonna come back on, or what? You know, what's gonna happen? And what happened was, they come back. And that was when Colin Kaepernick was going crazy.
Yeah.
Because that Colin Kaepernick, he had a hell of a season that year.
Yeah, I remember that season.
Everyone was doing the Kaepernick, that celebration he did where he would flex.
He would flex. Yeah.
He was doing all that.
Flex emoji.
The arm emoji. And they almost came back, but they ended up losing that game.
Yeah, I feel like Kaepernick, that playoff run was crazy. He should have definitely won that Super Bowl. But like you said, the Ravens defense, they had good defense. They had Ed Reed.
Ray Lewis was still
Ray
on that
Lewis
team.
was still on that team, you know.
Terrell Suggs.
Terrell
was on that
Suggs,
team.
you know. Ravens always have a good defense.
Yeah,
and
they couldn't have
a bad defense that year. You know, I wanted my boy Kaepernick to win, but
definitely wanted him to win. But you have any other Super Bowl memories?
let me see. I have a couple like bad ones, I guess, because a couple bad Super Bowls that I didn't really like. Which one? Like you said, like we mentioned earlier, the Seahawks versus Broncos one here in New York.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was excited about a Super Bowl being here in New York, and everybody was talking about how the weather might be like snow or cold, and it ended up being like 60 degrees. One of the warmest Super Bowls, and a blowout. You know, Seahawks just dominated that whole game against the Broncos and Peyton Manning. So, but
the Legion of Boom.
But the Broncos got the revenge a couple years later against the Panthers, because Von Miller, he went crazy on Cam Newton.
The Panthers were supposed to win that game.
Yeah, I wanted the Panthers to win.
Because Cam Newton won MVP
that year.
And he was playing out of his mind. And then for him to, not show, like a lot of people saying that he didn't show a lot of effort.
Nah, he didn't show a lot of effort. And then after the game, he was complaining, and he didn't want to talk to the media, and the media got on him, you know, and I think a lot of the media blamed him for the loss, which
because he wasn't showing.
He didn't show up.
A lot of plays he wasn't showing effort. I remember one when the Seahawks didn't run the ball on the 1 yard line because
I forgot about that one.
They were supposed to go back to back because the year before, like I said, they
I forgot about that
blew
one.
out the Broncos, and then they played the Patriots next, and that's when I know Russell Wilson, he threw the ball. Was it Curse? I think
he tried to throw it to.
No, he did, but it was a tip ball, and Curse came down with it, which set them up on the 1 yard line because he got touched. And then I was like, all right, they had Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. The obvious thing is to run the ball. The one you have Marshawn Lynch, he's going to be hard to tackle, but instead they threw a slant, and Malcolm Butler came in and picked it off and sealed the deal. And you see Richard Sherman's face on the sideline, and everybody's like, why didn't you run the ball on the 1 yard line?
Everybody was shocked with that call that this guy made, that the coach made, That should have been Marshawn Lynch's game-winning touchdown. Instead, it was a pick thrown by Russell Wilson to Malcolm Butler, and the rest is history. The Patriots won again.
And they beat the Falcons, too. When they came back 28-3.
Oh, my God. Everybody thought the Falcons was going to win.
I thought they was going to win. They up 23. You up 23.
I was about to go to sleep during that Super Bowl. I'm like, Falcons got this.
Late in the third quarter. How is that going to happen?
How, Sway, how?
I know how. Tom Brady, that's how.
Again, Tom Brady. You can't talk about Super Bowls without talking about Tom Brady. So
again, my prediction is I hope the Rams win this year's Super Bowl, though.
Me
Nobody
too.
wants to see the Patriots win, but I doubt that the Patriots are going to lose. That's the only thing. I doubt it.
Me too. I hope the Rams win the Super Bowl, but, you can't count Tom Brady out, And I want the Rams to win, but I feel like, and we all know that Tom Brady is going to be Tom Brady again and probably win another Super Bowl, which... Except for the state of Massachusetts. everybody is rooting against the Patriots and want the Rams to
Rams to
win,
win.
you know? So,
But, anyway, it's your boy, Kid Brims, Jersey God of Westchester, here with my man.
Little Caesar.
Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Leave some reviews, some feedback. Until next time, we are out of here.
Deuces. Later.
Later.